Alright, so now let's dive right into shifting. Let's go into more in detail about what shifting is all about. So when you get into a manual transmission vehicle, the first thing you must do is first find out what kind of transmission that is. Remember, I said that we're going to train you on a 10-speed transmission, which is right now the most common transmission out there, okay? So once you know what kind of transmission it is, you now have to find out what the gear pattern is. And as you can see here, this is a gear pattern that we're going to work on. So a 10-speed transmission means you have 10 different gears to go into. As you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go back to 1 to go 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That R signifies reverse. Well, now you might be asking yourself, well, that doesn't make sense. How can 1 and 6 be in the same gear? Well, that's through this T-bar here, okay? So this T-bar that you can see is going to be on all 10-speed transmissions, which means this T-bar or range selector is going to give you the selection whether you want the T-bar up or whether you want the T-bar down, okay? Again, when the T-bar is down, you're going to be in those lower gears, the 1 through 5 gears. When the T-bar is up, you're going to be in the higher gears, the 6 through 10 gears in this 10-speed transmission. Once you understand how the gear patterns work, now you want to set yourself up for success in your seat. So when you want to drive, you're going to want to make sure that you're neutral and you're setting yourself up where you're comfortable sitting down, okay? That being said, you want to be able to hit the gas and brake pedal comfortably, and the clutch is going to be on the left-hand side. So your clutch, you want to be able to stretch out your leg and only be touching by your toes. If you find yourself pushing your clutch down with your entire foot rather than just your toes, that means you're just sitting too closely to the steering wheel and you should probably back up. That's going to come in handy in the next module, alright? So now that we know how to sit, now that we know how what our gear pattern looks like, it's time to do the gear pattern itself. So the first assignment that I want you guys to do is set up your seat the proper way, okay? Make sure that you can only touch the clutch with your toes. So the first thing you have to understand about your gear patterns is neutral. Anytime you start your vehicle, you always have to be in neutral, okay? Now, you know you're neutral when you move the shifter left to right and you feel a spring when you move it to the left. That means that you're neutral. If you're in an older truck, you can be in gear and have play in your shifter. That does not necessarily mean that you're neutral, okay? So, first thing, without the clutch or anything like that, on the machine that you're on right now, let's go through the gears. So the first gear is going to be all the way to the left and down. Second gear is middle, forward. Third gear is middle, down. Fourth gear is right, forward. Fifth gear is right, backwards. Now we have to get into sixth gear. So this is where we flip the T-bar up. We go up to neutral, all the way over to the left, down to 6. Okay? From here, we're going to go up to the middle and forward to 7th. From here, and then to 8th gear. Neutral again, to the right, forward, 9th gear. Neutral again, 10th gear. And now we've made it all the way up. We've just upshifted. But now it's time to go down. So let's do it backwards. So we're going to go to 9th gear, which is straightforward. 8th gear, which is in the middle on the bottom. 7th gear, again, straight up. 6th gear, to the left, down. Then we're going to flip our T-bar down, our range selector, because now we have to go to 5th gear, which is on the low range. We're going to go to neutral, all the way to the right and down. From there we're going to go to 4th gear, which is straightforward again. From there, 3rd gear, middle down, and then 2nd gear, which is straightforward, and lastly, 1st gear. So we just went over all the gear patterns. We went all the way up to 10, all the way down to 1. So your next assignment is going to be, I want you to sit where you are, and for the next few minutes while the timer is on the screen, I want you to just do nothing but go 1 through 10, back down to 1. In order to move on to the next step of this training, we are going to have to make sure that you understand where the gears are. The worst thing that can happen is when you're in the truck with our instructor and you completely forget what gear you're in and you have no idea how to get to the next gear. That's a rookie mistake, and that's something that we do not tolerate, okay? So let's take this time seriously, the time that comes up on the timer next. Let's go through all the different gears. So again, we're going to start off at 1, up to 10, 10, back to 1, and then back again. So constantly be repeating that until you can do this with your eyes closed.